me see if I can get some more lighting. This looks really dark, but it's morning time, so maybe. Let's see if I can do something like that. I don't know. It looks really weird. But I'm not going to be on long. Good morning, everybody. Coffee cheers. Yes, I have my hoodie on because, like I said, these braids, they expose my scalp. And it is very cold out here in Michigan. So I'm trying not to keep my heat up too high. I don't want to give those folks too much of my money too soon. So it's hoodies and bundling up. And I apologize that my eyes are wailing. It's a bad allergy morning. But anyways, I hear a lot of people kind of trolling now. They're trolling black people, some of them, because they decided to vote for Donald Trump. And they're always saying, how could you vote for a racist? How could you vote for a bigot? And again, I like to emphasize that Donald Trump specifically has never really had a track record of being against black people or being racist. And you got to be over 40 to kind of understand where I'm coming from with this. You have to have followed Trump, at least for a considerable amount of time before the politics to really understand what I'm saying. So, why is this so? Let me see if I can change this lighting. It looks so weird. I don't understand it. And you guys can tell that I'm not like a professional YouTuber. I just get on the mic and do my thing. But like I said, you got to be over 40. Um, John Jones is the greatest of all times. That's your opinion. You can believe that if you want to. But what I'm talking about is, these people making, trolling people talking about how could you vote for a racist and whoop de whoop de whoop. I do not understand why my lighting is looking like this at all. Um, but like I said, you got to be over 40 to really understand why, many people don't understand, these conversations about Donald Trump and him being a racist. And one of the things beyond Jennifer Hudson and him helping out her family, I was just thinking about Mike Tyson, right? And I don't know if a lot of people remember this or not, but Mike Tyson actually hired Donald Trump on as one of his advisors. Now, I think, a lot of people who know Mike Tyson, right? Good morning. You said, where's Diddy? I don't know. We're not talking about his ass. Hey, good morning to you, Adam. But I don't think a lot of people realize that Donald Trump looked out for Mike Tyson. Very early in his career too, because again, Mike Tyson wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, right? And so a lot of people were taking advantage of Mike because he had the skills. His social value was that he had the agility, right? Remember I talked about those 5 social values in society? If you are not beautiful, you need to be smart. If you're not smart, you need to have ingenuity, meaning you need to be an engineer. You need to create things. If you don't have that, you need to have agility. And this is where the Mike Tysons in society are valuable because people always want to see people, sportsmen, people like that. So that's where the people with agility comes in, right? And the fifth one is dynamic character. That's where the comics and the salespeople come into society. But Mike Tyson has agility, right? And so he didn't have to be smart. He didn't have to be attractive, right? He had a social value that society needed. But unfortunately, because he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, a lot of people were taking advantage of Mike Tyson. A lot of people were taking advantage of that man in his career. And Donald Trump did not like that. He did not like that at all. So Mike Tyson ended up hiring Donald Trump as his advisor. And I believe, what did they say? It was Trump basically organized Mike Tyson's Tyson Sprinks fight, right? In which obviously Mike Tyson knocked dude out in 91 seconds, right? If what's his name? Is it Logan Paul or which Paul was it? That Paul, whatever one. If that dude really would have had Mike Tyson in his prime, that dude would not be. They wouldn't have probably even went 4 rounds, right? Mike Tyson in his prime was a different beast. We are seeing an exhibition of a retired boxer sparring with the amateur damn near, right? So I don't take anything that transpired on Netflix seriously in a broad scheme of Mike Tyson and his true ability as an athlete and as a boxing legend, right? But again, with this narrative of Trump being racist, Trump did not like the way that they were treating Mike Tyson. Trump had empathy for this man. This man was going back and forth with his manager and all these folks who were just using this brother, capitalizing on his lack of intelligence, right? And just using them. And Trump did not like that. Trump ended up coming on as one of Mike Tyson's advisors. And you can look this up. I don't say shit just to be saying it, right? But I think, when it comes to Black people and our narrations of people, we need to basically be able to step back and think about the things that we absolutely know about somebody. Again, if you are defining somebody as a racist, then you need to have like real hardcore proof, right? And to me, Donald Trump's track record with Black people, having empathy with Black people, does not say that he's a racist. So again, check out that earlier relationship with Mike Tyson and Donald Trump. And then also check out Donald Trump's relationship with Whitney Houston. She was a really good friend of his. And I think, what a lot of Black people need to do is sort of step back from this Democratic propaganda machine. Many of us who are indoctrinated with that, step away from that, because these people are telling you who you think should be racist, even if the person never had a track record of being racist, right? So that's just kind of one of my things. Is like, I hate these arguments, these conversations, but we got to be practical about some of this stuff. You know what I mean? When people are like, how could you vote for a racist? I'm like, where's the track record? The Democratic Party as a whole has a greater track record of racism and just disenfranchising Black people than Donald Trump would ever have. So, again, you guys, everybody is entitled to think what they want to think. I just don't conflate racist with doing the things for Black people that Donald Trump has asserted himself to do for Black people. And I always go back to that Mike Tyson and Donald Trump relationship, because he didn't have to agree to be that man's advisor so that people weren't short squeezing him out of his money. He did it because he respected the guy for his craft. And obviously Trump didn't like to see somebody just being taken advantage of like that, because he wouldn't have came in and made Mike, how much did that fight make back in the 80s? I think it was like, this is back in the 80s, right? So I think he made like $29 million off of that fight. But that is just to go to say that Mike Tyson did hire Trump to be his advisor during that time. And look at it. His advisor is not, now the president of the United States again. So don't be hating on Trump when it comes to that racism stuff, because we really need to abandon that. He doesn't have the track record. The last thing I want to talk about, and I've talked about this before, is Mowry. And I read everything that people are saying right now about this person. I only had to see Mowry's preview to know that she is a hot, stinking mess. She let go of a really good man because she adopted the modern woman mindset that the grass is greener on the other side. Now, mind you, I've been seeing videos of these modern feminists, I want to be on my own, independent women who leave their husbands. And now they're on videos crying, talking about they've made a mistake. They're all, they're in their feelings. They wish they could go back, right? But, this is a lesson to a lot of women. If you have a good man, right? And if you peel back the layers of, why he would be perceived as a bad man, maybe he doesn't allow you to spend the way you want to, right? Maybe he has more expectations of structure in the household. A lot of women are looking at those things as being bad, but the worst reality is you give up all that structure, you give up that man that wasn't bad to you, right? Corey Hardrick wasn't bad to Tia Mowry. She couldn't even say what he did, right? She just had all these modern women thinking that she was on some liberation, right? She needed to soul search and find herself. And this show is revealing that Tia Mowry is a miserable woman. She's also very selfish. Check out my video. I did it a couple of weeks ago about her because I pretty much read this situation. She wanted her sister to be jealous of her. Her sister is also an actress, right? Her husband is an actor, right? And she wanted him to be jealous of her too, right? And I think that she was looking at, I think that there's a couple of things going on with Tia. I think that she saw Tamara's husband, who was pretty well off by himself as well, right? And I think that in her mind, sometimes Tia is always trying to one up her sister. So I think she was looking at Corey, who was probably a struggling actor, because let's just face it, acting, it's not like they got a regular job they go into every day and making a regular income, right? It's a luck of the draw for these actors, right? He was not doing as well as she was. And I'm thinking in my mind, this woman thinks she has better options. Like she's not willing to go through the for better or worse. And in that case, the worst was that Corey was having a hard time finding gigs, right? And I don't know what kind of effort he was putting out to find gigs, or if his gigs was just not sufficient enough for her to be satisfied with his income. But I truly do believe that Tia looked at her husband. He wasn't making a lot of money. And so Tia decided to go back into the market. But what she didn't realize is that the dating market is just a clown show. The dating market in the United States is a big clown show. You got people who are addicted to all kinds of ridiculousness, right? So the dating market is scarce. And now Tia is finding out that the grass wasn't greener on the other side. And so instead of her leveraging her show for this new single liberation that she's just achieved, leaving her husband and breaking up her family, right? She's on this show crying, just crying her ass off about everything and basically alluding to the fact that she misses her husband. So, ladies, if you need to learn anything, don't be Tia Mowry. The grass is not greener on the other side. A lot of these men are not looking to wife you. A lot of men are not interested in getting married. And that's just 100. They're just not, right? And so, people like Tia and women like Tia need to be very realistic, no matter how attractive you may think that you are, right? A lot of these men are not going to marry you unless they feel like there is some substantial value that they need to do it. And in Tia's case, I don't think Tia is going to be getting married anytime soon. And if she does, she's probably going to downgrade. Like I said, she's probably going to end up with a bum. She's either going to downgrade significantly, or she's just going to be single for the rest of her life. Or hopefully Corey will take her back, because it's obvious from the show that she is begging for this man to take her back. I think she's seen the errors of her ways, and now she's trying to make this man jealous in little slick ways, try to make him seem like she's living her best life, and then she's in tears. This woman needs a psychiatrist. Liberal psychiatrist, please help this woman, right? But ladies, you can't be leaving your husbands, right? The grass is not greener on the other side. You can leave your husband, but you have to make the executive decision that you are going to be alone. And you have to find solace in being alone, right? You have to understand. I feel better. Like, I mean, at least Tia Mowry has kids, right? So she's not alone, alone. She's just not romantically companion. I mean, she's a different breed than these women with no kids, and they really are alone. They didn't, they only got themselves to really think about. She has kids, right? But, and I think that, during times like this, when you have younger kids, right, under 18, right, you should basically, accept being alone, right? You have to come to terms with the fact that, people are not the same these days. You really can't have a whole bunch of different types of people around your kids if you actually care about them. So, she's gonna be alone at least until them kids get older, and it's just gonna make more sense because again, my friend and I, we were talking about this the other day. It's like, most men, for some reason, like men equate women with children as being liabilities, right? They think that they are getting into something in which they have to take care of her and her kids. And in actuality, I feel like some of these guys, they sound dumb in the head because if you're getting with a woman, let's just say she's been single for 7 years, right? She makes six figures and she's taking care of her kids without your ass. You're not coming in to take care of anything. If you just want to take that upon yourself, yeah, you're coming in to partner. All right. I think a lot of men conflate that. At that point, when you're coming in, the blended family zone is so much different than that just a man and a woman connecting, right? It's different when you're coming in blended family. Let's say you're a man with no kids, right? And you're coming into a relationship, with a woman with kids, right? And she's been taking care of her. Let's say the dad is not in the picture, right? And she's been taking care of them kids all their damn lives without a man. You're not coming in taking care of shit, my dude. I don't even know why you would set that up in your brain that you're coming in taking care of shit, as an obligation unless you wanted that obligation. And that's just a matter of fact. And I think people tend to conflate baby mamas with single women with kids. These are not the same animals, right? Baby mamas are what they are. A lot of times they are relying on that man for child support and all kinds of other things. But even then, they're not getting child support. They are the sole financial providers. They're chasing money from this dude. Single women with kids, typically they're getting child support. But in addition to the child support, they actually are career path with people themselves. So they're working in partnership or co-parenting with their kids' parent, the other parent, right? But I think a lot of guys, they prefer to date women with children where the dad is completely not in the picture. That way they can kind of come in and be that guy, right? But in many situations, you're not going to be that guy. You're going to come in to partner and be a mentor to the kids at best. You're not going to be their daddy if the dad's in the picture, right? You're just not, right? You're not, you're going to have some form of, hey, don't do this, keep the kids protected, just common sense things that an adult would do when children aren't around. But you ain't going to be out there just being daddy to somebody's kids and the daddy's already in the picture, right? You're not the financial savior for a broad who's been taking care of her kids for years before your ass even came into the picture. So I think a lot of people think about these conversations differently. But at the end of the day, Tia, at least you are a single woman with kids, that you have a co-parenting relationship with this man. And again, when you're in that situation, you are a companion to another man. You're not really going to be their wife, right? So that's the realism that single women with kids or these baby mama chicks, they have to understand. Companionship is kind of, and playing house is kind of the option if you so desire. But other than that, you got to just, you're literally on your own romantically a lot of times until your kids get older and more autonomous. That way, some of these childish minded, men, won't look at you quite as a liability. But, anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. I just wanted to come on. I saw these two blogs covering Mike Tyson, and then I see Bakari Sellers is trolling black people, I guess, because of Trump's cabinet picks. You look at a lot of the comments, and people are kind of ahawing the black people who voted for Trump because he's not picking any black cabinet members. And honestly, I don't really think that anybody voted for Trump caring about who he was going to pick as his cabinet members. I don't think black people were voting for Donald Trump because they felt like he was going to fill his cabinet and the White House full of black people. I really don't think that's why they voted on him. I think they voted for him because of the perception of his policies, right? The policies. They didn't vote for Trump because they thought that this was a new beginning for black folks, right? They voted for Trump because of their pockets. That nothing more. So for all these black liberals trolling as Trump is picking his white ass cabinet members, it's like didn't nobody vote for him because of what cabinet he was going to be picking. And that's just bottom line. It's a poor, weak troll at best, right? But obviously, liberals are going to make everything about race. They're going to have their black faces out hard talking to black folks anytime Trump do anything that may seem to be anti-black folks or maybe not in the interest of regular people. They're going to bring it back on black folks to inflame us. Like, see, black folks, this is what you get, right? You had some black Democrats saying, if anybody get lynched, don't call them. So these little demons are just really in their feelings, saying shit. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Let me try to look at some of the comments from my computer because my eyes, when you get over 40, you got to get that extra pair of eyes. Everything just kind of start. And I eat my blueberries and carrots. My mom said blueberries and carrots are good for your eyes. All right, here we go. Let's get into this chat before I got to get off. Get on with my day. All right. You said, here we go. You said heaven, you said 100%. Right, and a real good man is not going to be worried about having to take care of a woman with kids. That's what he got with. She came with a package deal, right? And a lot of guys, they don't mind the package deal, especially if they got an amicable woman. If you're dating someone, let's be real, you're going to help eventually. Absolutely. I mean, that's part of that whole partnership of relationship, right? Where you're finding somebody that you can stick together with and build with, right? And the more you trust that person to be a trusting partner to build with, the more you start giving of yourself. Me personally, I've never asked any guy that I dated to take care of me. I've always had my own money. Everything that they have done for me has always been voluntary. Let me just take care of it. And it was always this insistence like, oh no, I got it, and as a woman, I had to learn to just let them have it, and that was because black women, we're raised to be independent. Our moms are raising us to be independent women, devoid of if a man is in our lives or not. They are raising us to be able to take care of ourselves. And so, my mom has always, encouraged empowerment, knowledge, skill development, even in her girls, because she understood, what if my girls never get married? What if, they never find an amicable mate? They still need to know how to take care of themselves. And so I appreciate my mom for that. But I think a lot of guys, they have this skewed idea. Obviously, there are a lot of women out there that are looking for caretakers. A lot of these women tend to be lower in their value, though, right? They're not career movers, really. You know, like this guy was telling me, yeah, I just been lucking out. I met this a couple of nice chicks, and they're all social workers. And don't get me wrong, social workers are great people in society, right? But you got to watch out for those broads too, right? Some of those women aren't right, social worker or not. Let's see. What's for breakfast this morning? I'm more of an intermediate faster, so I'm just drinking coffee and water right now, but I'm sure I'll get to some substance, in a couple of hours. I never wake up hungry, so it's like if I'm not hungry, I'm not going to eat anything. If you're dating someone, I'm sorry. Obviously, you're not obligated, but it's going to happen. Absolutely. I agree. Again, if a man inclines himself to want to help a woman that he's dating out, again, it's not an obligation, but if he insists upon doing it, I think that a woman should let him do it just because it gives him, some sense of, she's, trusting me with something. You know what I mean? And I get it, and I think that people just need to be smart, not buy into all these little think tanks. You know what I mean? A lot of women are divorcing their husbands because of think tanks on TikTok. They're literally taking advice from TikTok women, lifestyle, independence, feminism advice. And the minute their husband do something that they don't like, they're deferring to these women on TikTok and they're destroying their relationships in the process. I know this really great guy, and I think he's great because he's such a humble man, and he's young guy, and he is very much in line with his spirituality and the Lord. He unfortunately just got by a beautiful woman, a harlot, right? And this woman has zero intentions of respecting his authority. And it's complicated for him. He doesn't want to end the marriage, but at the same time, she usurps his authority all the time. She went behind his back, got a credit card, got herself in $20,000 in debt, and now they got to pay it off. These women, they have that independent woman spirit, and you're seeking to be aligned with a man. It doesn't work. It's incongruent, and actually it breaks the divine balance. It really breaks the divine balance. And one of the things that, I appreciate, and like I said, I'm going to go back to this. One of the things I appreciate about these particular books that were omitted from the canonical, you can get this from Amazon too, is these books really center on the divine balance, both spiritual and on earth. And so a lot of these women are out there breaking the divine balance with their spirits and their minds, and they're leading themselves to misery. And then obviously misery loves company. So they go on to these social media platforms and they basically enable other women to feel the same misery. You look at some of the women that Mowry is aligning herself with, these single women who obviously they're more like just go out and do what you want to do. And they got this woman out here shaming her son, shaming her ex-husband, right? And she's still looking like a hot damn mess, shaming herself ultimately, right? So shout out to Corey Hardrick for being a real man. That man is fine. Mowry is so damn stupid. Corey is fine. Like, Corey is fine. That's the dude that you're going to partner with no matter what, because he's sweet, he's humble, and he's fine, but obviously he's a man. He's a real man. So, shout out to Corey Hardrick. Shout out to your son who doesn't want to be a part of that show too. You already know Tia is a mess because her own damn son don't want to be on that show watching his mom shame herself and his damn daddy. It's insane to me. I hope that Mowry abandons this show. Just abandon this show. You are looking like a hot ass crazy mess. You need therapy, and hopefully, if Corey so desires, he will take you back. But I wouldn't take a narcissist like that back. She's narcissistic. There's a reason why her sister don't mess with her, because she's a hot ass mess, like I said in my other video. She wants people to be jealous of her so that she can elevate herself. That woman is a demon. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. Again, please define what a racist is. Please tell me what the track record of a racist is. Because when I look at Donald J. Trump specifically, the man has never been an enemy of Black people. He has always been empathetic to Black people. And like I said, we go back to Jennifer Hudson, when her family was tragically killed like that. It was Trump that was there looking out for her. Okay? When those managers and all those rat-faced people in the 80s were taking advantage of poor, illiterate Mike Tyson, it was Donald Trump that had the empathy to agree to be his advisor. I don't understand a lot of racists that would do that. And they continue to have a relationship. Obviously, Mike Tyson felt like of all those snakes in the grass that was around him, Donald Trump was at least somebody who genuinely did not want to see people taking advantage of that man. I think he felt sorry for Mike because, again, he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. And Trump saw all of those people basically short squeezing this guy out of his talent and his hard work because they knew he was illiterate. So check out Trump's relationship with Mike Tyson. And y'all just go ahead. You said racism, but it's not. Yeah, racism, I agree. Racism exists, but it's not Trump. There's a lot of racist white folks out there. It's a lot of racist Black folks and all folks of the kind in America, because for some reason our government enjoys dividing the nation. Obviously, they don't want us united, right? United we stand, right? Divided we fall. And they always want us to be in a position where we're falling under their control, right? So they need racism, right? So it's going to stand the union, but it's up to the people to start taking a stand against these coordinated racism propaganda machine and deciding to stand united and rejecting that stuff. So I am not saying that racism or racist people don't exist. I just can't give that card to Donald J. Trump. I'll give it to every single white-looking person in the Democratic Party before I give it to Donald J. Trump. And that's just word 100. And you don't see me, I'm not a Trumpster. I'm not no MAGA. You don't see me with no Trump milk, like praising and glorifying Trump. No, but facts are facts. And we got to call it like we see it. We can't be on these bandwagons of ignorance, just buying into labels of people when the proof is obviously in the pudding. David Duke would never have the relationships with Black people that Donald Trump had. And that's just facts. So anyways, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I didn't want to stay on long. Love your neighbors as yourself. If you would not disrespect or abuse yourself, do not disrespect or abuse your neighbors. Bye.